In this video, we're going to take a look at map and filter. Map and filter are methods which can sort of make your life a little bit easier instead of having to constantly use for loops, nest for loops inside of for loops. It helps your code be a little bit cleaner and just makes things a little bit nicer as you're becoming a junior developer somewhere and you're trying to get your first job. These are some methods that you're probably going to want to know and have a good, decent handle on. So in this example, what we're going to try and use is filter to take an array and do exactly what it says, filter out something. So basically what filter does is you're executing it on a string or on an array, and you're executing some bit of code on that, and it filters them out. So instead of having to do a for loop and nest one to do that, you can do it simply with .filter. So in this example, I have a function predefined that determines whether or not something is prime. And what we're going to do is filter out this original array for what's prime. So let's go ahead and create a new function. You can do this just as a variable, but I usually do them as functions. So we will say this is filter prime, and filter prime takes an array, and it returns the array. Sorry, forgot to put brackets here. Dot filter is prime. Right? So if we console log this, with the original array, and we run this in our terminal, we see, boom, 325, 325. 3, 2, and 5 are the prime numbers. So it's as easy as that. You get one little line of code, and instead of having to go and say, okay, let's do a for loop to loop through each one of these, and then do a for loop to go through each one of these and determine if it's prime. Instead of writing all that out, you can just define some sort of a function, throw it right in there in the filter, and boom, it's easy. Another example, instead of having to do a predefined function, is let's say we wanted to take a look at it and say, let's filter out everything that's smaller than 5. So go bigger than 5. Excuse my spelling error. And this is also going to take an array. And what this guy is going to return is the array dot filter. And so that's going to take a number. There's going to be a number in there. So now we're actually writing the function. So a number. And what are we going to do to this number? We're going to take number less than 5. And we're going to use a ternary operator. I'm sorry. We don't need to do that. That's for a later exercise. Number less than 5. And we get, oh, I've got to console log it now, don't I? Console log bigger than 5 with the original array. Oh, I'm sorry. I did less than. Silly mistake. 10. So the only number we get there is 10. And that's basically what you want to use with filter. Now with map, it's sort of the same thing. We're going to take each element in the array and we're going to do something to it. But instead of filtering it out and returning an array with something filtered out, we're going to do something to each element of the array and return a new array. So to make more sense of that, we're going to make a tripled array. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this array and make a new one, That's all these same numbers multiplied by 3. So tripled, you're going to take an array. This is a function, and we're going to return the array dot map, and then that takes a number, and to that number we're going to go number times 3. All right, let's run that. Look at that, 3, 9, 6, 15, 30. That's exactly tripled, right? So that look how simple this is. Just one nice quick little line of code. Instead of having to do a for loop and then for I equals 1, I plus plus, number times 3. It's just nice and easy. So another thing we can do this is we'll incorporate something in our previous video, the ternary operator, is we can use map and decide if something is odd or even. So const odd even. This is also going to take an array. We're going to run our function. We're going to return array map, but this time we're going to say, well, we're still going to do number. And we're going to, actually I don't need these because it's just one item. Number, and then we're going to do modulus 2, triple equals 0. So if the number is, this is just number divided by 2 equals 0. Question mark says if that's true, we're going to run something and we'll say even. And if that's not true, we'll say it's odd. So console log odd even, the original array. Let's see if that works. Looks like I made one mistake somewhere here. Let me take a look. Oh, even odd. Sorry. There we go. So when you write your ternary operators, you're not writing or. I was writing or, that the forward slash. This is a ternary operator. I was thinking about the short circuit from that same video. Anyway, there you have it. You use a ternary operator that can make this very, very simple. You don't have to write all these long for loops. You can just cut straight to the chase, one line of code, and do a lot with it, just with map, filter, and ternary operators. So I hope you enjoyed this video and look forward to making some more.